first photo, can't really see the front of your face, but it could be pretty good. There's just a building in the way of an even bigger building. Could have been better to really clean up the shot and just get a shot of the building you were aiming for instead of complicating the photo even more, because it just makes it less ideal. The more complicated you make it, the less simple it will be. That's an obvious statement, but when it comes to photos, you shouldn't make things more difficult. And this, for example, it's not a massive deal because it's building in another building. It's going to happen when you're in a major city. But if you take this idea and when we look at other profiles and we see there are like group photos, for example, too many people in the group photo, like which one are you? That's just what we were talking about a few minutes ago. Simplify as much as you can. This one, a mirror selfie. Do not take mirror selfies. That's all I'm going to say. Do not take mirror selfies.
Mm. Even if the phone case looks a bit futuristic, but still no, don't do it.
The phone case kind of shows a zero, but in a weird pattern. Clothes. Okay, what is this? Some weird artistic version. I'm not sure if that's AI or one of those sketch spoofs that created this, but that is what this reminds me of.
So this is not artistic, but rather autistic, I would say. Like, don't do this AI pictures, and I don't know, or maybe it was before with some filter, but it's again horrible. This is the first real portrait shot, which is done by some fucking weird filter, like a 12-year-old kid would do.
So, yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, filters. Just don't go there, especially if, you're men. Do you need a filter? Just think of like some masculine figures. Is Hugh Hefner going to use a filter on himself? He was a very old man in our recent times, of course. He wasn't always old. He wasn't born old. But Hugh Hefner, at some of the heights of his fame, he was a very old man. You think he's going to use a filter to make himself look younger or something like that? It's just not even worth doing. But if you're messing around with this, what's the point?
I personally, I personally would recommend to use FaceApp. It's really good, but don't overdo it. I use it myself and for students, but I never overdo it. Like really, really slightly, but not go into them catfish things. As I saw, I remember when it first came out in Facebook groups, guys really overdone that. It's crazy.
I want you to really get in your brain that you should be doing so much better than this. So don't take it personally, but do make improvements. Next one. Can't even see the front of your face. Again, do not do this. It's just not looking good. Okay, this one.
Is another guy suddenly, or?
Yeah.
Really strange.
A little bit of inconsistency there. It's not that great of a photo. It's much better than many photos I have seen so far, but the fact that you're covering your eyes with these funky shades, which do look pretty good, by the way, makes it a bit difficult for people to connect with this photo on a psychological level, because if you don't see the eyes, you're not humanized. So you blocking off your eyes with your shades takes away, just puts an obstacle in the way.
There were some rap bars just right here. Eyes and humanized. Dropping some bars.
Dropping bars. Like I'm from Mars, motherfucker. Yeah, on a subconscious level, it makes it hard to humanize you if your eyes are not visible. And this goes the same with any kind of mask in many cases, but especially shades. If you're wearing glasses to improve your vision, that's one thing. Don't look too much into that. Oh, no pun intended. There we go, dropping more bars. If you're wearing shades and your eyes are really not visible purely because you're at the beach, of course, that's what you would do. Just take it off for when you're doing a photo for the purpose of Tinder. In other cases, go ahead, but your eyes should be visible. Mirror selfie at the bar. Is this at the barber getting a haircut? Looks like you need one for sure. Do not take mirror selfies. Once again, do not take mirror selfies. I'm going to say this over and over again, and people will still not fucking listen, and they will still fucking do it, and they will still say, why am I not getting matches? It's because you're not fucking doing the right shit. And you're wearing a mask, which we're still in a pandemic, but it's better if you don't have a mask covering up your face when you're taking photos for Tinder. And it's better if you don't take selfies. Stay
first we had covering the eyes. Now we have covering the whole your mouth and nose. It's like,
what's next?
Covering your head.
Anus. Oh, here we go. Covering your head. There's one. It's obviously different. It's not necessarily problematic, but what the hell is going on here? He's just playing with some bongo drums in a bar. I'm just not really sure what to say. This is a little bit random, but he dresses like a 13-year-old.
I mean, it took 7 pictures to really get what you wrote in the bio that you're a musician. 7 pictures, and then the only thing you dropped, I don't know what the next picture is, the last picture, but it took out of the whole thing like musician, which is actually something you can really profit from on Tinder, which is a fucking great job description to have, where you can really DHV yourself, really get the archetype of a bad boy, and then suddenly the only picture you can come up with is playing in those fucking bongs, and even that looks like an amateur. It doesn't look a musician at all. Like I can imagine a musician. I imagine somebody professional, at least make the picture professional, not like you. I don't know. You're drumming an outfit of a 13-year-old. And
he's wearing a bag, so he's obviously not really performing. He's just like, here's something. Let me just do something for 10 seconds and then do something else. Now we actually see some music. Well, we can't see music. We can only hear it. But now finally we get there. I can see some other instruments in the background. So this is more for what you should be aiming for. And it should be much earlier in a profile if you really want to demonstrate this.
Still, the angle is shit.
The angle is pretty shit. And the light from the window coming through the window just gives a glare. It reduces the quality quite a bit. So it's better to really control your light levels and make sure that you can actually see a photo of yourself without any blurs or any light becoming a problem.
This is like DLV to the fullest, demonstration of low value to the fullest. It's like the angle is bad. The thing, if you're a musician, then make at least one fucking good picture. Go to a professional studio. They have those equipments. Go if you're doing this out of your mom's basement. Okay, fine. You don't have to be, I don't know, a professional musician already. But otherwise, just go rent a professional studio for 1 hour. I don't know how much it costs, and take pictures there. That's it. Hire somebody, a photographer, or take your friend, whatever, and get some pictures there in a professional studio. At least that looks better than this. That's my take.
Now there's this one. Now finally, the first photo, and it is a professional photo. So that's a good start.
Tip for the next time: don't wear clothes which go hand in hand with the background, like a chameleon. The thing is, behind the background is brownish, blue brown, and the shirt you're wearing is as well, and it kind of, yeah, it's not good. Always have a contrast. What could work here is really some a white t-shirt, for example, or something white to the background.
Definitely.
But nevertheless, this is the first professional picture we see. Picture with a dog, not bad either, but as well, yeah, a bit far away. Yeah.
Could be, yeah, a bit far away. I like that. So what can be done is, I wouldn't say crop it down because that could reduce the quality of the photo. But if the photo was taken closer, there's wasted space in the top quarter of the photo. It's just looking at clouds, and the sky looks beautiful in contrast with that valley down there. I think it's very good scenery. If it was taken a bit closer so you don't waste that space, we can actually see more of you and more of the dog, which would be a better thing. So, not a bad attempt, but the improvement to make here is to make sure it's taken closer and not wasting that space above you so we can get a better look at this. Okay, it's taken from behind. Well, there's something you don't hear every day. Well, actually, it depends, but we see more of your toes than we do of your face, and that does not go down well with me, especially. That is something I do not want to see or smell, and it's why didn't you only feet? It's why couldn't you just move your camera person to in front of you on the same side of the hammock so we can actually see your face instead of your feet, and we can see you playing the guitar. Like, I like
now
the
I see
vibe.
actually just playing a guitar. I didn't see it as well because again it blends in into the background. It's as well bluish. Background is kind of as well, so
I like the vibe. But the choice of the angle was the wrong decision here. You should have moved that camera person to the other side where your foot is, so we don't see your feet, and so we see your face. And perhaps the colors could be better contrast, as Pat was saying too. Then it could have been a very good photo representing your hobbies, something you're passionate about, which would go down well, but this is not a good angle. Group photo, and it's a selfie. So one good thing about this is that the ratio of men to women is in your favor for the most part. The bad thing about this is that it's a selfie. The lighting is all over the place. And the one thing I really don't like that doesn't really work well is when there are table photos, restaurant table photos, and so on. Everyone's body is facing a particular direction, and here you get three or four different directions. I'm not sure if this guy's at the end of the table or he's on the side of the table, but let's just assume it's three sides. We got three entire different body posture angles, so everyone's turning their necks, turning their head, and there's one guy behind you blurred out. There's a woman who looks like she has a really long neck, but her head is in the way. Table photos never really go down well. I wish I could show you a particular table photo I have seen. Not necessarily one for Tinder, just one I have seen. And it had Dan Bilzerian in the photo. And Dan Bilzerian did not give a shit about the fact that a photo was being taken. He was just focused on eating or talking to someone. He did not turn around and look. Oh, fuck. My thing fell down. God damn it. He did not turn around and look at the camera like, ooh, photo is happening, everyone. He just continued what he was doing. And that's more powerful. It's much more independent, much more in control. This is very I would say artificial because this is, if you look at what society was like 500 years ago when the cameras did not exist, people were not turning for photo opportunity and making weird posture. If there was some kind of announcement, maybe, but I don't like these photos.
It is well bad lighting. Like they have it in restaurants and bars usually. The thing is, they have dark lighting. It works in their favor, of course, but not in yours. And here as well, the lighting, it's bad lighting in addition to what I said. So it never works in your favor.
Okay, I am somewhat impressed by that crazy river down there. That's one hell of a kind of canyon going on, but it's a selfie. Like as a person, you're looking good, I gotta say. But the fact that it's a selfie kind of doesn't make it as good as it could be. Otherwise, it could be a really amazing photo. Also, the fact that there's one or two people behind you over your shoulder kind of complicates the photo a little bit. You could have very easily changed the angle, had someone take a photo of you, and then you really would have nailed it.
It's some sightseeing attraction, and yeah, you just another one taking, I think, the 10,000 or 100,000 picture everybody else has maybe on Tinder even. So, but this guy has much more potential actually. He's a good-looking guy, no homo here, but yeah, you should like go for the whole profile should be like your first picture. Second picture was good as well with the dog, but the rest, third picture was a bit messed up from the angle. The other two pictures, the last two pictures were shitty, but yeah, waste potential actually. So yeah, hire a professional photographer. That's my only take on in general when it comes to online dating profiles. Hire a professional photographer. You can go with the photos if you are like, you won't change that much. I mean, I'm 32 years old. I have my pictures taken when I was like 28, 29 till now, of course. And I didn't change that much. Of course, here and there, a bit more wrinkles. But at the end of the day, I still look kind of the same as I looked when I was like 29. Didn't age that much, luckily. So a professional photo shoot really pays off at the end of the day because you can go with the same pictures for at least 2 years, if not more. So of course, it's a big sum if you pay it. Of course, be aware that the photographer is good and he's familiar when it comes to online dating. Many guys do the mistake of just hiring a photographer, going to some photo agency. Oh, I want to take professional photos, and don't even mention for what. And the photographer takes pictures of them. What do you use for the job applications, for example? And this is a total fail because job application, you need other pictures than for online dating. And then it's for you, of course, embarrassing, and for him as well. If you come up to a photographer and say, hey, I want to have pictures for Tinder. And you're embarrassed by saying that. The photographer as well, like, okay, it's a bit embarrassing because I don't actually know what to do or how to do them. So really hire somebody who is really familiar in this niche and who really knows his shit. And you can play with open cards from the start, and you don't feel kind of embarrassed if you mention what you want to do, because it's actually anyway your money you're paying. So